Welcome Sagittarius to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 2nd of October. Mercury on Thursday leaves a very long journey that it's gone through in your sector of how you connect to the wider world, arriving in your sector of friendship, the network, your connections, your longer term plan. It's just that in the early part of this week, Mercury is opposed by Neptune. Neptune in your fourth house, very much about your emotions, about your environment, your need for security, and of course Saturn is there as well. Ironically, as soon as Mercury arrives in the lovely relating sign of Libra to join up with the Sun and Mars, it is conflicted by Saturn. So that fourth house energy, how you feel about things, where you feel really protected, your immediate environment, where you feel you can thrive and really be nurturing as well, that remains an incredibly important part of your situation. But Mercury in its long journey through the sign of Virgo may have been pushing you to learn new skills, raise your profile, connect with people of influence, and perhaps change your job. And because of the whole process of the retrograde season, with the pre-shadow, the retrograde itself, the post-shadow, it may not have been easy and it may have been rather frustrating. So you may be in the mood for some company and some social interaction, and with Venus in a great link with Mars still, Venus still in your sister fire sign of Leo, really giving you an appreciation of different cultures, travel, higher education, philosophies, connecting to people who are just different and have a sense of freedom and spark about them, but also Mars in your sector of friendship. So if you do enjoy going off on some expeditions with a group of people, that it's very easygoing, very supportive, there can be more of that this week. And with Mercury arriving in your sector of friendship, you'd be optimistic that there was even more to come. And there can be, but I think this week can also be rather tricky, because I think you could be about to find out about some friends or associates you can't rely upon, or more to the point that you're starting to see more clearly don't share the same values as you. Because values is really something quite complex. It doesn't necessarily mean our political views or our attitude to childcare or money. It can be a mix of all of those things, but it's about being with people that we feel secure with. So, we are naturally attracted to, as the saying goes, the tribe that we feel most at ease with. And if there are some members of your circle that aren't as supportive and cooperative as you like, and perhaps don't understand the emotional dimension that's been developing in your situation since Saturn moved into Pisces on the 7th of March, then went into that retrograde in the middle of June, I feel that those relationships can be highlighted in quite a powerful way. For example, if someone tends to take your generosity for granted, or always feels that you will be the one who does all the organising or all the sacrificing. This can be around any group enterprise. It could be around some kind of cooperative or group or community enterprise. And the politics that may have been simmering could really come into the open in quite a powerful way. And the reason for this, Sagittarius, is Mars edges forwards and goes into an opposition with the North Node, but a square with Pluto. And Mars squaring Pluto is one of the most very dramatic influences in astrology, because you've got Mars in the 11th house, very much in keeping with your sign. It's kind of Aquarius energy, needs to be free-spirited. It needs to stick to the things that it really attaches its mass to. This needs to be something that's meaningful. Whereas Pluto in the second house since 2008 has been quite a tough road at times in terms of your finances and what you feel is acceptable in terms of the type of work you can do. And there's a conflict between that. at the end of this week, essentially, just as Saturn is applying a pressure to Mercury. But get this, Venus is also, despite being in that great link to Mars, is also in conflict with Pluto. So money, possessiveness, control, miserliness, anything that you feel doesn't reflect your more open-hearted and generous nature could be something that really, really strikes a chord with you this week in a very powerful way. There's also a quarter moon on Friday in the sign of Cancer, which for you is very deep, it's passionate, but it's also very Scorpionic. So the two rulers of Scorpio, Mars and Pluto, are clashing. And then we have a quarter moon in the 8th house, which can flag up for you where you feel there is, the dark arts going on. Is there somebody in your network that's a two-faced backstabber, or tends to drop a little bit of acid in about someone and let other people take the story on? If that really isn't your scene, if you really like things to be frank, upfront, above board, honest, even if at times it can be a little bit hard to be on the end of your honesty, at least it's genuine. And I feel that that's what this week may be about. You're needing to see some genuine responses. Neptune opposite Mercury is murky and misty, so it's maybe at work initially this week something again is a bit snaggy, not very clear. If you're buying or selling property with Mercury coming to the end of its journey in the sign of Virgo, be very cautious before you sign any documentation to really check the small print. So I have to be honest, this is a very complex week, and I do feel that it will be represented by some astrologers as Mercury moving into your 11th house. Isn't this very jolly? You're going to have a step up in your social interaction. You've been caught up with a lot of work demands. Now you need to connect to others. Yes, we all have a need to connect, but I think for you there's a more acute need to only connect to people who are either good for you in terms of your emotions or good for you in terms of your core values. And I wouldn't budge 1 inch on those boundaries. But if you are spending time with people you feel at ease with, who are jolly, friendly, fair, and have a big broad view of life, it could still be a very uplifting week. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd be honoured if you would like, comment or subscribe. Also, if you'd like to take advantage of a unique opportunity, year 2023 is speeding by, year 2024 is racing towards us. If you order your year 2024 personal horoscope forecast now, based on your unique birth data, I'll prepare for you the rest of year 23 free of charge, but you'll also get the whole of 24, plus in my special package of 30% off, your character analysis report, your life roadmap, which will help you to understand the patterns that have played out in your life so far and gain a much more intimate understanding of how to work with the energies that you were born with. And each chart is totally unique to the person I prepare it for. Please see the link below for more information.